Good evening. This is QTV News coming to you live from our studios on Kairaba Avenue. I am Asma Uba. Thanks for joining us. Here are the main news headlines. At the Permanent Secretary's second quarter retreat, the Vice President Mohamed B.S. Jallow and the Minister for Public Service Babukar Boy called on Permanent Secretaries and heads of government agencies to support each other and collaborate more. A three-day joint multi-stakeholder forum to review and validate 4 drafts was organized on Monday by the Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy with its counterparts from Estonia. A British Royal Navy ship, HMS Trent, arrived in the Gambia on Sunday as part of the ship's deployment to the Mediterranean and Africa to work with allies. In international news, Senegal's parliament approved a measure on Saturday that restores the right of 2 prominent opposition figures to participate in the 2024 presidential election. In sports news, Non-Stop FC emerged champions of the C4 Kankelem Banda football fitness tournament after defeating Kawas on penalties. In business news, we have the foreign exchange rates from the Central Bank of the Gambia for the 7th to the 13th of August 2023. Those were main headlines. Now the news in detail. Do stay tuned. Thank you for staying with us. At the Permanent Secretary's second quarter retreat, the Vice President Mohamed B.S. Jallow and the Minister for Public Service Babukar Boy called on Permanent Secretaries and heads of government agencies to support each other and collaborate more to facilitate and expedite the implementation of government's recovery-focused national development plan. Antoine Sonyasi was there and he tells us more.
This 3 days convergence of the country's most senior civil servants is aimed at providing a forum for deliberations on government's operational plans, amongst other things. Addressing participants and representatives of various government agencies, Vice President Mohamed B.S. Jallow underscored the importance of this retreat in providing a direction for effective and expedient implementation of government's recovery-focused national development plan, reviewing past successes and addressing current challenges. And he emphasized the need to institute people-centered reforms in public administration.
This retreat should serve as a visionary platform for the MDAs seeking to map out the best way to leverage the lessons learned from the current NDP and integrate them into the recovery-focused national development plan to catalyze the needed socio-economic transformation of our nation. It should be underscored that this retreat and the forthcoming ones in 2023 aim to better equip the sectors and other relevant stakeholders for a seamless transition from the NDP 2017-2021 to the RFNDP 2024 to 2027.
Salimatu Toure, Secretary General and Head of the Civil Service, urged participants to collaborate, support and develop a framework that will help expedite the implementation of government's development programs, and went on to reveal that approval has been granted for most of the demands made by the convergence during the first quarter retreat.
And the following issues were considered and approved. 1. Conducting a functional review of MDAs to eliminate duplication. 2. Establishing a national price index to improve procurement. 3. Re-establishing the 4-year rotational plan for the Foreign Service. 4. Reviving national career days to promote STEM disciplines. And 5. Allowing permanent secretaries to travel business class for travels exceeding 6 hours.
The Minister for Public Service, Babukar Boy, and the Finance Minister, Sidi Keta, respectively revealed that efforts are underway to improve institutional capacity and tax compliance for continuous effectiveness throughout the country's revenue collection systems.
The significance of getting things done in the right way and time with maximum efficiencies and effectiveness cannot be overemphasized, considering the fact that the lives and livelihood of the Gambian people depend on the rate of our successes in implementing our planned programs in our sectors.
The government of His Excellency Adama Barrow will also continue to give high priority to human capital development in the coming years. you will agree with me that a lot of policy prescriptions were given to developing countries during the economic recovery program and the successor program without placing a lot of emphasis on the human capital development.
At the end of the retreat, participants are expected to develop a framework in the form of recommendations for effective collaboration and coordination to implement government's development programs. Ansmane Sonyasi for KTV News.
A three-day joint multi-stakeholder forum to review and validate 4 draft policies was organized on Monday by the Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy with its counterparts from the e-Government Academy of Estonia. Lolem Kamara reports.
The 4 documents have been developed and formulated for the ministry through support from the AU, EU, D4D Hub project. They include the Digital Readiness Assessment Report, Digital Economy Master Plan, the Open Data Strategy, and the Digital Addressing Policy. Lamin Kamara, Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Communications, says the forum will pave the way for digital economy readiness in the Gambia. He also spoke of the opportunities offered by the digital economy while highlighting the challenges.
According to the World Bank, the following are the challenges or gaps related to the digital sector as per 2022 data. Around 3 billion people still lack access to the internet, with the majority concentrated in developing countries. Even in areas with mobile broadband coverage, 43% of the world's population did not use mobile internet in 2021. And around 850 million people worldwide cannot verify their identity. Approximately 4 billion people globally live in areas where there are no street names or addresses. And 1.7 billion people are without a bank account, and 700 million globally are without digital skills.
PS Kamara further stated that the challenges are limiting people's access to digital services and opportunities. He calls for more global action to tackle these challenges or gaps, especially from developing countries. Priet Sati, one of the experts from the Estonia e-Government Academy, states that the project was launched in 2020 with funding from the African Union and the European Union, with the aim of increasing the prosperity of societies.
Our main focus is on governance and engagement, data and services, cybersecurity, architecture and interoperability. And as Serin already said, in the Gambia we have drafted 4 different reports, documents, assessed digital readiness of the Gambia, drafted digital addressing policy, open data strategy, and also master plan for the digital economy.
The Gambia's digital economy has largely remained underdeveloped, leaving it ill-prepared to benefit from global digital-enabled economies. As stakeholders and experts gathered over the 3 days to review these documents, PS Kamara believes the initiative is timely and in alignment with the government's policy direction to give a focus to the growth of the country's digital economy. For QTV News, Lolly M. Kamara.
Now, a British Royal Navy ship, HMS Trent, arrived in the Gambia. On Sunday, the crew were received at the Banjul ports by the British High Commissioner David Belgrove and senior officials of the Gambia Navy. Jennifer Sonko has the rest of that story.
This is the second time the HMS Trent has arrived in the Gambia, following a visit in the December 2021. The visit is part of the ship's deployment to the Mediterranean and Africa to work with allies, uphold maritime security, and fly the flag for the UK and the Royal Navy. The 3-month-long deployment to the West African region with a team of Royal Marines from 42 Commando Training Military will engage with the Navy and the law enforcement agencies in the region. In the area of operations, crucial, especially to root out terrorists, pirates, smugglers amongst hundreds of boats and ships lawfully sailing the seas. David Belgrove, the British High Commissioner to the Gambia, expressed delight that the Royal Navy vessel is visiting the Gambia.
Renewing the cooperation and the warm, productive relationship between the British Armed Forces, the British Royal Navy and the Gambian Navy, and they are here to train, with the Gambian Navy and the Gambian Armed Forces. And I think this is a sign of a close military defence relationship that we have had with the Gambia for more than 100 years. And it's very good to see the ship back here with its crew.
The ship's crew will engage their West African counterparts on best practice, including vessel boarding, search and seizure. The visit of HMS Trent will coincide with the visit of a Royal Navy short-term training team who will be working with their Gambian Navy counterparts to enhance their capacity to counter threats to maritime security in the Gambia. Here is HMS Trent's commanding officer.
Well, I think it shows the Royal Navy's commitment to this region. HMS Trent is one of the 5 forward deployed offshore patrol vessels with our mission to engage with all of our regional partners. To be able to come here and conduct training with the Gambian Armed Forces is a real great opportunity to come back, meet some of the people that we met 2 years ago and take that training forward.
The HMS Trent will host tours of the ship to members of the Gambian Navy to demonstrate the ship's capabilities through her onboard assets, including deployable seaboats and embarked maritime forces. Captain Fatou Jaita Balde, Executive Officer at the Gambia's Naval Headquarters, says the tours and activities will greatly assist the Gambian Navy in their future operations.
Coming here to the Gambia is very important to us because they will help us to train our guys both theoretically and practically, and that will enable us to be able to protect our maritime resources and any trans crimes in our sea. It's very important.
So what has been the impact in 2022?
We have received a lot because if you look at the Navy now, despite the fact that we don't have all the capabilities, but we are able to patrol our maritime resources, and we have achieved a lot.
HMS Trent is one of 5 Royal Navy patrol ships currently operating around the world in areas of critical importance to the UK. It is hoped that the frequent visits of the HMS Trent will improve the capacity of the Gambian Navy, which currently faces challenges due to lack of capacity and resources. Reporting for QTV News, I am Jenna Wasonko.
We will now take a look at some local news. We'll be right back.
In today's fast-paced digital world, staying ahead of the competition requires the latest technologies and skills. That's where QIT comes in. Our programs include Certificate in IT, Diploma and Advanced Diploma in Microsoft Office Applications, Cisco A+, Graphics Design, Database Administration, Systems Administration, HRM, Business Management, and Marketing. We have a range of internationally certified online courses. Our special weekend classes provide the flexibility you need as a working professional. We offer specialized IT training to corporate institutions at our state-of-the-art conference room or at a location of your choice. Our affordable facilities are also available for rental with free and fast internet. Call us at 3100918 or 3800918 to start your journey today. QIT, turning your potential into credentials.
No more leakage, cracks, or a broken roof? Batimat's got you covered. With its wide range of waterproofing products, from roofing systems, FlameCut, and sealants, from the most trusted and reliable international brands, all to make your life easier. Batimat, your trusted partner.
Batimat, welcome home.
Sorry about that. That was a commercial break. Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV News, and I am Asma Uba. Let's take a look at international news. Senegal's parliament approved a measure on Saturday that restores the right of 2 prominent opposition figures to participate in the upcoming presidential elections scheduled for February. The decision paves the way for Khalifa Sall and Karim Wade to run, despite their previous criminal convictions. Lena Igwenyiba has more.
Once officially ratified, which seems a likely outcome considering government support, both Sall and Wade will regain eligibility to contest the presidency. Sall, a former mayor of Dakar, and Wade, the son of former President Abdoulaye Wade, are both seen as strong contenders for the February 2024 presidential election. Their eligibility was hindered in 2019 election due to separate convictions related to financial crimes. Interior Minister Antonio Felix Abdullahi Jome, while explaining the bill in Parliament, highlighted its broader implications, stating the bill allows convicted individuals to rejoin the electoral roster after the expiration of the remaining sentence following a pardon. Babakar Abambay, a member of Khalifa Sall's party and part of Tahawu Senegal, emphasized the significance of this step forward, describing the vote as the beginning of a correction and expressing hopes for its continuation. Meanwhile, Usman Sonko, the leader of the now-dissolved PASTEF party, has been detained and charged with multiple crimes, including incitement to insurrection and conspiracy against the state. Sonko has been on a hunger strike in prison to protest these charges and was recently hospitalized for emergency care, according to a statement from his party. With many observers anticipating that the parliamentary decision will help elevate the tension that has been brewing in the country over recent months, this vote is seen as a potential measure to address concerns raised by opposition figures who have voiced apprehensions about actions taken against them leading up to the next year's presidential election. Reporting for QTV News, I am Lena E. Gwenyiba.
Also in international news, as it defied a deadline from the West African bloc ECOWAS to reinstate democratically elected President Mohamed Bazoum or face possible military action, Niger's military leadership announced it was closing the country's airspace due to the threat of intervention. More with Julden Jai.
The ECOWAS ultimatum demanding coup leaders in Niger restore elected President Mohamed Bazoum to power expired on Sunday evening, raising the prospect of possible military intervention. The military, who toppled President Bazoum in July 26, claimed they ousted the president to help them better fight jihadist insurgents and stop corruption. Aside from threatening military intervention, ECOWAS also imposed sanctions including travel ban and a blockade on Niger pending the reinstatement of President Mohamed Bazoum. Senators in ECOWAS member Nigeria urged President Bola Tinubu, the current chair of the regional bloc, not to intervene militarily. Other non-ECOWAS member states, including Chad and Algeria, have equally spoken against military intervention. Antonio Tajani, Italy's foreign minister, has called on ECOWAS to prolong its deadline for the reinstatement of Niger's ousted president. The new military leaders say they will not cave in to external pressure to stand down and have reportedly asked Russia to assist. Since the announcement of the sanctions, various sectors of the Nigerian society, including women's groups, civil society, lawyers, and youth groups, have taken to the streets of Niger's towns and cities to offer their support for the junta. Two neighboring countries, Mali and Burkina Faso, who have been subject to recent coups, strongly oppose ECOWAS moves and have promised military support for Niger in the case of foreign intervention. Delegations arrived in Niger on Monday, according to Niger's foreign ministry, and Niger's junta also sent delegations to both countries. On Sunday, some 30,000 supporters of the coup gathered at a stadium in the capital Niamey for a rally attended by the junta leader. Meanwhile, Air France has suspended flights to and from Ouagadougou in Burkina Faso and Bamako in Mali until August 11, the company said on Monday. A spokesperson for the defense military at the German Armed Forces in Berlin said on Monday that every day that Germany cannot fly over Niger's airspace is a setback. The junta says that any attempt to violate the country's airspace will be met with an energetic and immediate response. For QTV News, I am Julden Jai.
That story by Julden Jai takes us to sports news. Now, Non-Stop FC emerged champions of the Sifo Kankeling Banda Football Fitness Tournament after defeating Kawas on penalties. 14 teams took part in the competition at the Sifo Junior Secondary School football field on Saturday. Our sports reporter Modu Gajaga was there, and this is his report.
The day-long football competition saw 14 teams competing for the top prize, which eventually went to Non-Stop FC after they beat Kawash 3-1 on penalties following a 0-0 draw in regulation time. Jawara Jane, the non-stop FC goalkeeper, was his team's hero of the competition. He said it was exciting to win the final. I am very happy. I told my teammates I will save penalties. We lost the first game, but I told my teammates that there is still a chance. Don't worry, we will make it. The tournament was organized by Abubakar Kante, the councillor for Katong Ward, to empower youths and strengthen unity in the community. Keba Kebaro, the National Assembly member for Kombo South. He says football is a source of livelihood for many, and opportunities should be given to young talents to showcase their ability.
This is a very good initiative which is showcasing the talents of young people. And I think all along what we have been trying to do to ensure that we engage the young people to improve their skills in football. Football is not only a game, but it helps bring social cohesion between the community and also the young people, creating some job opportunities for them. So, and I think the talents that are played here are going to be very good in the future, and that will help the Kombo South Football Sports Committee to ensure that they push the boys to a higher height and be part of the wider participation in the West Coast region. And I think this is an opportunity that has to be emulated by all the wards in the constituency.
Each team played several matches in a group format before reaching the knockout stages. Mamudu Gajaga, QTV News.
From sports news, let's take a look at business news. The Central Bank of the Gambia has issued the official interbank foreign exchange rates, and here are those rates.
The Central Bank of the Gambia has released the following official foreign exchange rates for valuation purposes applicable from the 7th of August to 13th of August 2023. The rates are as follows. $1 US, $60 14 batuts. €1 euro, $66 55 batuts. £1 British pound, $76 42 batuts. 1 Swiss franc, $65 6 batuts. 5,000 CFA franc, $487 96 batuts. 100 Swedish krona, $551 97 batuts. 100 Norwegian krona, $585 22 batuts. 100 Danish krona, $883 47 batuts. West African unit of account currency, $79 30 batuts. Source, Central Bank of the Gambia. That is the end of the foreign exchange rate valuation from the Central Bank of the Gambia for the period 7th of August to 13th of August 2023.
That's all we have for you on this news bulletin, but before we go, a recap of women news headlines. At the Permanent Secretary's second quarter retreat, the Vice President Mohamed B.S. Jallow and the Minister for Public Service Babukar Boy called on permanent secretaries and heads of government agencies to support each other and collaborate more. A 3-day joint multi-stakeholder forum to review and validate 4 drafts was organized on Monday by the Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy with its counterparts from Estonia. A British Royal Navy ship HMS Trent arrived in the Gambia on Sunday as part of the ship's deployment to the Mediterranean and Africa to work with allies. In international news, Senegal's Parliament approved a measure on Saturday that paves the way for Khalifa Sall and Karim Wade to participate in the 2024 presidential election despite their previous criminal convictions. In sports news, Non-Stop FC emerged champions of the Sifo Kankiling Banda football fitness tournament after defeating Kawas on penalties. In business news, we had the foreign exchange rates from the Central Bank of the Gambia for the 7th to the 13th of August 2023. Following this news bulletin, join us for a special program looking at the situation in Niger in the wake of the ECOWAS ultimatum. That's all we have for you on this news bulletin. Join us at 10 p.m. for another bulletin. Thanks for watching.